Now to the crowded race for Chicago mayor. Today, new candidate Toni Preckwinkle isn't just talking about her campaign. She's answering tough questions about her former top staffer and his alleged bad behavior. CBS 2 political reporter Derek Blakely is live at Preckwinkle rally in Hyde Park with more on this story. Derek.
Well, Rob, this afternoon, this South Side setting for Toni Preckwinkle's announcement shows that she aims to rebuild both the coalition and the excitement of Harold Washington's successful run for mayor. But today she's also dealing with the fallout from an apparent incident of sexual harassment on the part of a former high-ranking staffer.
Toni! Toni! Toni!
Toni Preckwinkle launching a drive for the mayor's office, what would be the capstone of her political career.
My hope is that today is more than a kickoff of a campaign, but the start of a movement.
But clouding the announcement is the dismissal of Preckwinkle's longtime County Board Chief of Staff, John Keller, for what Preckwinkle called inappropriate behavior on his personal time.
I have zero tolerance towards harassment of any kind. Zero tolerance.
Preckwinkle says she just learned of the incident last week. But sources with knowledge of the matter told CBS 2 it actually occurred months ago while Keller worked on another campaign. It was there that a young woman was touched without her permission in a sexually inappropriate way. Preckwinkle says the woman involved wants her privacy preserved.
Getting into details could compromise her privacy, and I don't want her to be victimized a second time.
Preckwinkle is counting on strong support for women's groups in her drive to take City Hall, and she insists she did all she could as soon as she learned of the incident, despite her close working relationship with Keller.
This allegation was brought to me on Friday. On Monday and Tuesday, we corroborated the allegation by talking to the victim and two witnesses, and I demanded his resignation.
Now, in her campaign announcement, Preckwinkle struck a series of progressive themes, saying the new mayor must shift attention away from downtown to the neighborhoods, and also saying that Chicago needs a system that holds all police officers accountable. We're live from 48th and Lakeshore Drive. Derek Blakely, CBS 2 News. Robin Erica?
Yeah, Derek, clearly she had to talk about Keller today. Is this something she's going to keep having to talk about, or do you think that the comments today suffice?
Well, it's hard to know since this just broke fairly recently and in an unusual way. As you know, first his departure was announced, then the reasons for the departure, or some of the reasons, were announced. Again, how much detail we're going to get on this is hard to tell, especially if the woman involved does not want to come forward and say more about it. But certainly, as a clarion of women's issues, this is something that must be personally embarrassed for her.
Okay. Derek Blakely live for us. Thank you. Also entering the race today is attorney Gary Chico. Chico's record includes Chief of Staff to Mayor Daley, head of the school board, park board, and city colleges.
This is why I've talked about my experience in the mayor's office. I think people want reality. This is no time for amateur hour. You're a pretender, you think you could be this, that, you better put up to the voters what you've done that shows what you can do. That's going to be our strategy.
Chico says the crowded field of up to 13 candidates will play out like a barroom brawl. Chico came in second to Rahm Emanuel back in 2011.